If I asked you what it meant to be Canadian, what would you answer?
Is it our landscapes and our love for the great outdoors? Our wildlife?
Maybe it's our thrill and passion for sports.
Our tourist attractions like Niagara Falls? Maybe it was our diverse and populated cities like Toronto.
No matter what your answer was, there's no doubt, as Canadians, our land is a part of who we are. Climate change is affecting our Canadian landscapes in more ways than we can imagine. At the heart of all of this, our Canadian parks and protected areas, and most importantly our conservation areas, serve as a key to protecting our Canadian landscape. These areas provide a space for wildlife such as plants and animals to flourish. Conservation areas strengthen and address the interconnectedness of value systems within wildlife and the indigenous peoples. These areas are actively helping against climate change by mitigating extreme weather and maintaining functioning ecosystems. Conservation areas contribute to local economies while providing employment and billions of dollars to the Canadian economy each year. Local Facebook community, Whitby Shores Neighbors with Lynde Shores Conservation Area, have shared their personal experiences of how living near a conservation area has both impacted and enriched their bonds with nature around them. A former member of the Lynde Shores Environmental Monitoring Committee, Stephanie Sullivan Chung, has shared several of the implementations and mandates that they recommended to combat climate change in their community. Stephanie mentions that few of these implementations were actually conducted as they were rejected by the town. Implementations such as signage for storm ponds, documentation of land edging, and studying the impacts of pollution to pH levels in water and ecosystems are a step in the right direction. Climate change has caused lower water levels on average and an increase in water temperature. During changing seasons, Canadians are experiencing reduced ice coverage, earlier thawing, and later freezing. Underwater, there has been a decrease in cold-water fish populations and an increase in altered breeding patterns. With rising temperatures and a drier climate comes with increased forest fires and loss of trees. The fight against climate change is far from over, and you may ask yourself, what can I do? If possible, make an effort to reduce carbon emissions. Residents of Lynde Shores report walking to get their groceries and traveling to other places on foot. Ensure to not disturb native plant species and replant them whenever possible. Harsh chemicals are toxic to the environment. Ensure they do not enter the sewage system. Use natural products as much as you can. And lastly, I'm sure you've heard this one throughout your entire life, but please make sure to reduce, reuse, and recycle. If I asked you one more time what it meant to be Canadian, I hope you would say, to be Canadian is to protect and conserve our landscape.